Hello everybody, welcome to the Old School Game Snob channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at some of the best armors you can get in the game. Actually, the best armors that you can get in the game from the different factions. So this is basically the top tier Imperial faction that we're looking at right here. The Lamellar Armor, Lamellar Shoulders, Lamellar Scale with a skirt. Now the thing about the Lamellar with scale skirt is that I do not believe you can buy it anywhere. I've never seen it for sale. Maybe at some point it shows up, but I've never seen it for sale. The only way I've been able to find this armor is to marry into it. So you have to find a wife who has it, and then you have to, well, just, borrow it one day and never give it back. So the Lamellar plate gauntlets and the Lamellar plate boots complete the Imperial set. As you can see, it's very high on armor. It is not the very highest, but actually this is the highest, and I believe this is also the highest helmet, highest chest piece. The shoulders and the gloves and the boots are not the highest, although they are pretty close. Some additional options for helmet also include the visored helmet over mail, which looks something like that. Actually, this is, sorry, my mistake, not Imperial. Let's actually take a quick look at the Imperial, the Valandian armor, which includes the coat of plates over mail. Not quite as strong as the Lamellar with scale, 52, 23, 16. As compared to 50, 16, 14, but pretty darn close. The weight is also about the same. And then also from the whatever. We have this high armor helmet, which is right up there with the top tier in the game. I was not able to find a shoulder that went along with Valandian armor. The best I could find was this padded leather with shoulders, which I don't know if this is the top tier for this faction, or if I just couldn't find anything better. So that's that. And then we also had the heavy mail mittens, which I'm assuming is the top Valandian mitten, and then the mail cavalier boots. And so that is the top tier Valandian armor, as far as I can tell, with the one exception perhaps being the shoulder armor. Now jumping over to the Battanian faction, we have the Highland Noble Armor, which is at 48, 22, and 12, which is somewhat lower than our Lamellar and somewhat lower than our coat of plates over mail from Valandian faction. Am I saying that right, Valandian? I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, so there's the stat comparison between the Lamellar and the Battanian Highland Noble Armor. The weight is about the same. Now, where the Battanian armor starts to shine and actually enters into the highest possible tier is in its boots, the Highland Warlord boots. So as compared to the Lamellar plate boots, the High Lord boots are a higher armor class, and they're lighter as well. So that's pretty good. And then of course the Highland Warlord bracers, as compared to the Lamellar gauntlets, have a slightly higher armor class, and as compared to the heavy mail mittens from Valandian faction, also have a slightly higher armor class. As far as the shoulder pieces go, for the, where is it here? For the Battanian, we have the Highland Warlord pauldrons, which I also believe were the highest armor class as well. So 20 and 10 as compared to 17 and 9, which the Imperial Lamellar I believe is the second best shoulder set you can get. And then we have the Highland crowned helm at the top tier of the Battanian helmet. So there's the top tier Battanian set. Moving on from here, we have the Southern Lamellar armor, which looks something like that, and it is not quite as powerful as the Imperial Lamellar version, which again, let me just compare the stats for you here. 37, 52, 8 to 23. The nice thing about the Southern Lamellar, though, is that it is considerably lighter. So if you want to play an agile character, this is probably potentially the strongest, lightest suit of armor that you can find. I believe where it really kind of suffers is in the leg. Yeah, the leg and the arm armor. It really suffers in both of those locations, but it is certainly the lightest armor. As for shoulder pieces, for the Southern Empire, sorry, actually, I think I'm getting this mistaken. So we have the Eastern Brass over Lamellar. So this would be the which faction was this? Let me just have a quick look. I forget the name all of a sudden. Eastern Lamellar would be whoever these blue guys are. I forget. Okay, the Khuzait, however you pronounce that, would be the Eastern Lamellar, I believe. I'm actually, you know what? I'm not 100% sure which factions these belong to now, but you'll just have to enjoy these pieces as best as you can without necessarily knowing for sure where they come from. So yeah, we have the Lamellar, sorry, that's what I'm wearing right now. We have the Eastern Brass Lamellar scale, which is pretty strong, pretty heavy as well. I believe this is the desert version of the Lamellar, or it could be the Khuzait version of the Lamellar. Not 100% sure on that. We also have a few pieces which are from the Battanian faction, such as the Highland reinforced mail, and also the Highland mail over tartan armor, both of which are better medium suits of armor. They're lighter suits of armor, but they are not quite as high on the armor level. The Ranger mail is quite decent as well for a mix of weight and also decent armor for its lower weight. But I believe that's actually about as far as I've gotten in collection of suits. I think that's about all I could find, at least in my game at the moment. We've got a few notable helmets, which include the Highland Plated Noble helmet, the Imperial Lord helmet up at 46. Armor, the heavy heavy nasal helm over Imperial mail. Also, of course, the Imperial goggled helmet, however you want to say that, I'm not sure. Imperial helmet with, what was that? With metal strips. We also have the Empire plate armor. These are shoulders, I believe, belong to the lighter suit, the medium suit of Lamellar armor, which you can find, which is this one here. Imperial Lamellar over leather, which is also a decent choice for a suit of medium armor, which is a lighter weight. It also looks really quite cool. It's kind of it's the splash screen, is the Bannerlord splash screen armor that you see when you start the game. That suit right there. So what else? The armored bearskin is okay. It doesn't have the armor, I don't believe. It just has the body armor buff for the shoulders, but that is an option if you want to play the sort of Viking style of appearance. The Ranger mail, I believe we already covered, and Highland Plated Noble's helmet, I believe we already covered. The Imperial Lord's helmet, I believe we already covered. And of course the Highland scale is also a decent suit of medium armor, and you can also of course pair that with the Highland Warlord boots, and you can pair that with the Highland Warlord bracers, and you have a fairly lightweight suit, which is quite decent on armor level, overall armor class. Yeah, and also let's say I'll show you also my favorite helmet here, the full helm over padded cloth. Not the highest armor, it's about 2 less. I think it looks the coolest though. They all look, there's a lot of cool looking helmets, but I really like this one. What I wanted to mention though is that you will find a few versions of this also from Valandian faction towns, which look exactly the same, but they can be of lower armor class. So the full helm over padded cloth is the highest armor class version of that, if you are looking for that particular helm. The decorated imperial boots, I don't believe we talked about those yet, but they are also a high tier boot. Plated striped gauntlets as well, a high tier set of gauntlets. And yeah, I think that's going to conclude this video. I think we've covered basically everything, at least that I could find in my current game as far as high tier armor goes. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Alright, have a great day. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be doing more on Bannerlord. I'll be doing videos on Star Citizen, and I'm actually getting into Valheim these days. I'm going to be doing some videos on Valheim as well. Pretty fun. Check out those games if you are looking for something fun to play and you haven't tried them yet. They're really fun. They're all really fun games. Alright, have a great day, guys.